One of the creepiest things just happened on Twitch. And unfortunately, if you don't know, women on Twitch, it's just pretty much commonly accepted that if you're a woman on Twitch, that you are going to have a stalker. Usually it's just like online and then like someone becoming obsessed with you, sending them a whole bunch of like emails or DMs, saying a bunch of weird, creepy things. But unfortunately, sometimes it also spills into real life. And multiple women have talked about how they have like real life stalkers. Some have had to move because of it. And like sometimes it'll just be like online, like I said. Sometimes it'll just be like weird notes that they get handed in public. Sometimes it'll be someone who lives in their building, which is uncomfortable. Sometimes a dude will be jerking it in a parking lot and leave his fluids all over your car door handle. However, I think this case tops all of those. If you don't know, jinnytty is an IRL streamer. That's all she does. Usually it's just her walking around new cities and new countries by herself. And now she is a very petite woman, which raises the a danger level by a couple of factors, but I don't think anything like this has happened before. I mean, there was that one time where the first day in Argentina, she's walking down the street, and then this happens. Yeah, she gets her phone stolen immediately because her phones are worth like weeks, if not months of pay for like minimum wage employees in Argentina. And like she does a really stupid thing and chases the phone thief back and forth. But yeah, luckily nothing bad happens with that scenario. This is all different. This is a stalker caught on camera while she's walking around Taiwan for a long time. So like an hour and a half into her stream, she's like walking down the street. So this is the first appearance of the guy. He's dressed in all black with a black sheet in front of his face, so you can't see it. But like this is the first time this guy showed up on stream, so no one takes any notice to him. It's kind of weird that his face is completely covered, but no one really pays attention to this. But then it gets worse. Half an hour later, she goes to her first break.
Save point.
Where she's gonna stop and eat. He's still right beside her, which is kind of weird in itself that half an hour walking and you're right next to the same person. And then she comes in here and eats her drinks or whatever, and the guy disappears. You can no longer see him. So you think it's done, kind of weird, but not that big of a deal. And then it gets worse because she's on break for about 20 minutes. She leaves, and then like a couple minutes later, the guy shows back up. And then like an hour after that, the guy is still following her. And you can see him down here.
You cannot see his face at all.
Runs across the street.
His face is completely covered. And he doesn't even come and say hi.
Hops in the bushes. And it's at this point that Ginny starts to cope really hard. She starts talking about how like, oh, you know, like maybe he's not creepy. Maybe he's not a stalker. Maybe he's actually here to protect me. Maybe he's here to make sure no other creepy dude starts harassing me. But then she talks about how like, oh, he never actually like comes up to me and says anything. Like if he's here to protect me, just come up and talk to me. Ignoring the fact that he's a huge creep who's been following her for close to like 2 hours now. And that when she stops, he stops. When she stops for a long time, he vanishes. And this time, he just straight up hides in a bush right in plain sight. But she does like an interview 20 minutes later. And they even notice that this weird, creepy dude, all in black and covering his face, is following her. And start recording him for the news while interviewing her. So this interview goes on for 30 minutes and this guy's here. Now, luckily, there's adults now involved and they know what to do. So again, you see him show up from around the corner with bags this time.
Looks like he's like collecting something.
And he's trying to blend in with bags because cops show up. So it seems like the news called the cops on this guy for being a massive creep and following this girl for like close to 4 hours now. And when this was going on, obviously no one knew what was going on. The cop did come up to Ginny, and Ginny's just like, I don't know this guy. I'll just keep walking this way. And the cop like stops him from further following her. And then someone in chat goes to like the security cameras in the country and finds this picture. Turns out 4 cops showed up for this guy. So apparently when they stopped him, he started getting aggressive and more cops came and they ended up arresting the guy, which is actually caught on the news. So like if that is not the creepiest, most stalkerish looking dude you've ever seen, like, that's insane. But this is him being sent to an institute, strapped down to a gurney because cops deemed him mentally unstable and unsafe for the public. And Taiwan apparently is very happy because this seems like a very bad image for Taiwan. So everybody's happy that this creep is taken off the street so it doesn't look like there's a bunch of crazy people running around Taiwan. And like, you think this is like an open and shut case of like, this guy was obviously like a stalker or creepy or had very bad intentions like no matter any way you look at it. But it doesn't stop people from defending it on Reddit. He's like, hey, like, I've been a dude on the road and I happen to be walking on the same way that a girl is walking, blah, blah, blah. It's like, that's so different. Like, even I feel creepy sometimes where I'm walking behind a girl and I walk faster than most girls because I'm taller. And I feel bad that I'm like slowly like creeping up on a girl at night. But then I pass her. This dude would stop when she stopped, would start when she started, and follow her for like 4 hours. This is obviously a creepy guy, but it doesn't stop idiots online defending him. But luckily, they are getting downvoted, so most people don't agree. But that being said, not all was bad. The dude is off the street and in an institute and hopefully getting help. And some good things do come out of her waddle-a-thon as well.
What's happening? Hi!
So I guess this is like a mascot for a local hotel. And they saw that she was in their city or whatever, and they came by and offered her a free stay for the night. So I guess it's not all bad.